how I upgraded to a more traditional European/English style inspired workbench. Let's get into it. If you've been around for a while, you'll remember these workbenches I made when I first moved into this new shop space. Since then, they've seen more than a few projects and frankly, quite the beating. Not to mention, the drawers have basically just become a source of frustration. So I'm using the need to revamp to add a little more hand tool utility and a little more durability across the board. I started by measuring, marking, and cutting 24 2x4s down to 48 inches. Then use the jointer and planer to square them. It was at this point that I realized 48 inches does not 4.5 feet make, so I put some of the offcuts through the same process to now serve as breadboard ends. Then it was time to laminate them together. I got kind of lucky not using cauls on this. Post glue up, only a little cleanup was needed. After cutting the end grain square with the beam saw, not pictured, I measured and marked the cut lines for the tongues of the breadboard ends. With a homemade edge guide and a straight plunge cutting bit, I got to work making many passes to clear the tongues for the ends. Using a combination of plane and chisel, I cleaned up the machine cut. Then I trimmed the ends down to size to match the width of the bench top. Using a marker to mark the outer edge of the groove, though it was easier to see, was a bad call. I wanted a little bit of expansion space, but this imprecision would come back to bite me a little. Oh well, it's only a workbench. With what I'll call a decent fit, I turned to the dowel pins that would hold the two pieces together. I marked the placement for 3 pins. Then used a 1/2 inch Forstner bit to sink mortises in just the end piece. I then lined up the piece back with the bench top and marked mirroring center points on the tongue. Then, to achieve the drawing mechanism commonly used with these ends, I sank my mortises just inside of this mark, and used a regular bit to loosen the openings. With those ready, I added a little glue at the center point, not the full distance of the board, though with the way these will expand, I'm not exactly sure how crucial this was. I aligned the ends, then sank the dowel. It was cool to see the drawing mechanism at work. Using a pool saw, I cut the dowels down. Then got to work on the finishing level sand down. I used a water-based polyurethane to finish the top. Now, time to address these dang drawers. I started by deconstructing the old bench. the existing side panels, I sank a few pocket holes to use to create the cabinet frame. Then, using the old ply bench tops, I cut an additional back and top panel for the cabinet frame to better hold the drawers in alignment. Doesn't pay to cut corners the first time. When will I learn? I sank some more pocket holes and then anchored them all together. With the box done, I screwed it into place. To ensure the new tabletop would still sit at 36 inches and still be able to serve as half the miter station, I flipped the bench on its side and used a beam saw to cut a little excess from the height of the legs. Then added the cross stretchers on either end. Time to add the bench top. With the top in place, I set about replacing the drawer hardware with some sturdier, soft-close tracks. To tidy it up, I used some offcuts to trim the gap between the drawers and the top. Time for the main event, the addition of the 12-inch Rockler end vise that I actually used as a face vise. I started by squaring 4 2x4s for the wooden vise jaws. I laminated 2 pairs of 2. Then trim them to 20 inches each. Before a final finishing pass through the planer. Then I temporarily secured one to the face of the workbench, pre-drilling and countersinking before adding the screws. Then I remove the rear plate, to free the vise plate. After marking and pre-drilling some screw holes, I anchored the vise plate against the back of the wooden jaw. Then marked where the guide rods and vise screw ports aligned with the jaw. pulled it off the workbench, clamped it to the other jaw, and cleared 1 1/8 holes for the guide rods and vise screw. With mirroring openings done, I reaffixed the wooden jaw to the table and anchored the other to the front plate. Then jimmied the guide rods and vise screw into place, making sure to align the quick release mechanism simultaneously. I retightened the rear plate bolts, installed the vise handle, and turned to sinking a few dog holes into the bench top. My alignment was based on some research that having a few straight lines is helpful, but other than that, I pretty much just based their placement on what I thought would yield the most use. 2 rows in the front, and 1 along the adjacent short edge. Let me know if you would have done something different, and why. With that, I replaced my great-grandfather's toolbox and the hand tools I like to keep at arm's length back under the workbench. And that's a wrap. Next time, I walk you through how I made these stinking adorable bench dogs shaped like actual dogs. Until next time.